We're going to talk about where should you spend your time if you're going to build your personal brand, a 7-figure personal brand. What exactly should you be doing to actually get there? So that's what I want to talk about today. Let's see who's hopping on real quick. What's up, Mr. Magic over there, Instagram? All right. What's up, everybody? So like I said, today we're going to just talk about where should you spend your time to build your personal brand. When you're marketing yourself, hold on, let me scroll back up. When you're marketing yourself, you have to do certain things if you want to actually grow. And so you have to know where to spend your time, what to ignore, what to do, what you shouldn't be doing, what you should be doing more of. That's what we're going to talk about today. There's really only one thing you should ultimately be doing in order to build that personal brand in terms of where you should be spending your time. So what's up, everybody? Good morning, peeps. Got my mom here, got Joe, Juanita. All right, so let's just get going. So basically the problem is that there's so many things to do that you don't really know which one should you do first, second, third. There's just so many things you should be doing. And so hard work isn't enough to actually get what you want. Hard work it's a requirement, but it's not the only thing to get to where you want to be. You have to work smart. And so when I talk with a lot of people, especially speakers, what happens is everyone says, I'm writing my book first. Everyone's like, I got to get my book done. I'm writing my book. And in my head, I say, oh my goodness, please stop. Do not write the book. Oh my, if there's one thing that is literally wasting your time, it is that one thing. Hands down, everything, you could be doing anything else, and that anything else will be better than writing a book. But for some reason, everybody's got it in their head that I should be writing a book. And so you have to make sure that you're spending time doing the right things. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting time. And before you know it, you spend however much time it takes you to write a book or do whatever you think that you should be doing. You're done with it. And then poof, nothing happened. You're like, I haven't gotten any business yet. And that's what happens because people aren't spending their time doing the right things that actually generate revenue in the business. And so the hardest thing to do is ultimately just knowing where to spend your time. It's hands down the hardest thing to do. So this is going to be a really quick session today. If you guys have any questions, make sure you ask questions now. But ultimately, where should your time be spent? So where your time should ultimately be spent is systems, building systems. And I've mentioned this before in the past, just building systems. What do I mean by building a system? What I mean by building a system is just a step-by-step process to generate a sale, or not to generate a sale, but really just a step-by-step process. A system is very similar to a habit. So habits are just something you just do constantly. It's just a habit. You wake up, I guarantee you brush your teeth the same way, you dry yourself off the same way. It's all a habit. And so systems are just habits for your business. That's all it is. So when I wake up, I have the same habit. I wake up at least by 6 a.m. I go to the other room, do boxing. Once I'm done with that, go take a cold shower. Once I'm done with that, get ready, eat. And then once I'm done with that, now I take a picture for this Facebook Live. I get a thumbnail ready, get it going. Poof, I'm done, ready to go. Usually I have at least 30 minutes left. With that time left, I tend to film some other videos real quick. And then bam, I hop on to Facebook Live. It's a habit every single Monday through Friday. That is the habit. Now the systems are the habits of the business. And so a system is something like if I'm going to film a simple 5-minute YouTube video, then I'm going to do something very similar to kind of what I just described. First, I'm going to start out with the idea. Like, what's the idea in terms of the video? Okay. I capture the idea how. So my system is in terms of how am I going to capture this idea? I capture on my phone usually with the notes app. I just say, here's my idea for a video. All right, cool. Bam. So that's a simple thing in terms of capturing the idea. Then how am I going to flesh out the idea? So I go into Asana, this to-do list thing. I go into Asana, I put it all in there, and boom, I flesh it out. Once it's fleshed out, now I actually check mark to see, do I have the thumbnail created? Check mark, see, do I have the email created? It's all these check marks, like this to-do list that I'm check marking. Oh, did I actually film and edit the video? Okay, cool. Is it uploaded? Okay, cool. Is the thumbnail created? Okay, cool. Is the email created? Okay, cool. Is the email scheduled? Okay, cool. And it's this checklist every single time. It's just same thing over and over and over. And when you start building those things in your business, you just have a repeat process that you just repeat. That's what happens. You just repeat the thing over and over, and you keep getting the sales over and over and over again. So what you do is you start with an idea. In the beginning, the idea you have for your system is usually wrong. There's no way you can be right in the beginning because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you should be doing. So there's no way that whatever you come up with inside of your head is going to be the right thing you should be doing. So in the beginning, you start out with an idea. You say, here's my idea for the system. All right, I'm going to start producing content for my personal brand. So how exactly should I be producing content? So you have this idea. All right, how do I collect a ton of ideas for creating content? How do I film the videos? What about the thumbnails, the emails in terms of promoting? So you have all these ideas in terms of the systems. You build out your system, this idea, step-by-step process that you're going to repeat every single time. And then you execute it. As you start doing it, what's going to happen is you're going to realize little things are popping up. So maybe as you're actually doing it, you didn't schedule time to eat or something. Maybe your system is too long, but something's going to happen within your system that you didn't think about. And so that's why you think about what your system is going to be, the steps you're going to take to accomplish this end goal. Then you implement it, you execute it. Once you execute it, it's going to be wrong. So now you go over here, you start fixing it. You say, okay, in the beginning, the check mark, I started doing this with a thumbnail. That didn't really work. So let me do this instead. And so you're changing it as you go. That's really what you're doing. It's very similar to what I did with the cold emailing system that I had for getting gigs. In the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just sending out emails. I'm just like, all right, let me just send out an email. But then I got smart with it. I just made it more systematic. So what I did is I created a sales pipeline. The pipeline was the same thing over and over from start to finish. It was always incoming, questions, quote, contract, and closed every single time. So when I contacted an event, I tried to get them to go to the incoming within the pipeline, which meant that they were semi-interested in me. They said, what do you charge? Or, yeah, he's the greatest in the world. So they were semi-interested in me in the beginning. It's incoming. My next stage after incoming is questions. So I need to ask them questions about their event. So I say, hey, how many people are going to be at your event? When is the event? I ask them questions about the event. After that, it's always the same thing. Quote. I now quote them the price. Hey, it's going to be $1 million to hire me for 30 minutes. So I quote the price. And then the next stage after quote is I send the contract. So, hey, it's going to be $1 million for 30 minutes. I attach the contract. We just need a 50% deposit. So bam, I got that. After the quote, it's now closed. So did I actually get the gig? Did I get the money or not? And so it happens like that every single time. And then once again, within each one of those stages, there are things that can happen. So in the beginning, let's say it's an incoming lead and I ask questions. Let's say they don't respond to my questions. I'm like, hey, how many people are going to be there? When is it? Where is it? I ask all these questions and then they just don't respond. For some reason, they just ghost me. Well, once again, I now have a system for that as well. I know exactly what to do. It's always like this if then. That's how it is. If this, then I do that. That's how it is with the systems. That's what you're building out. That's what you're spending all your time on if you're going to build your personal brand. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to wake up every single day. You're going to say, maybe I should create some content. Maybe I should create a video or a podcast or whatever. You're going to sit there and create content, which is a really easy thing to do, but you're not going to actually generate any sales. You're not going to make any money because you don't have a system for making money. You may have a system for creating content, but you don't have a system for actually making money. And so you create systems for making money. It's one of the reasons why I keep hearing about sales funnels all the time. A sales funnel is just a step-by-step process to generate revenue. That's all it is. And so your system is very simple. My system for the personal brand, it was do a Facebook ad to the Facebook ad to the opt-in page to the thank you page. It was literally that simple. And then on the thank you page, it basically said, hey, buy my stuff. And if they bought, it would upsell them to something. Hey, you bought this thing. Would you also like this? If they bought that, I would say, hey, would you also like this? If they said no, it would downsell them to, hey, I know you didn't really want that, but what about this one instead? And so that was a system. That's a system that I built out. You build it once and then you just keep inserting leads at the top of that funnel, inserting leads at the very top. That's what you spend all your time doing. When I built out the system for getting gigs, my system was the same. It was the prospecting to find the events, contact them with the same emails, and then go through the incoming questions, quote, contract, close phase. It was the same thing over and over and over again. I built it out once. The email templates, the sales cadence, the lead score, I put it all into the CRM, built it out one time. And at that point, it's now just a matter of me funneling at the top of the funnel with the leads. That's all it is at that point. You spend your time building systems if you're going to build your personal brand. You build systems in your business. That way, you don't have to wake up every day wondering, how am I going to make money? How am I going to generate sales? Here's the problem that a lot of people have. A lot of people are really uncertain with how they're going to make the money. They're just not sure. It's just like, oh yeah, I made some money a while ago doing that thing, but they're not sure how to repeat it. So you have to keep building these systems to repeat it. So in the beginning, you're going to build something that's almost guaranteed not to work because you don't know what works and what doesn't. So you're going to almost guarantee yourself to build something that doesn't work. And then as you're doing it, as you're funneling the leads, you're going to see why it's not working. You're going to see, oh, as I'm putting in the leads at the top, for some reason, they're not answering my emails. Are they even opening the emails? So they're not opening the emails. That means I have to have a better subject line for the emails. And so that's what happens. You keep improving it as time goes on. I'll tell you right now, $1 million system for your personal brand is a Facebook ad to an opt-in page to a thank you page to just sending them emails in the autoresponder. Bam! I just made you $1 million. You can send me 90% of your profits just because I helped you out there. So that is literally $1 million system, from a Facebook ad to an opt-in page to a thank you page where it offers them a product. And then after a thank you page, it sends a series of automated emails. Now, how do you get that thing to work though? So how do you get the Facebook ad right? How do you get that opt-in page right? How do you get that thank you page right? How do you get those autoresponders right? How do you get the upsells and the downsells right? That is literally $1 million system. How do you get it right? The only way you get it right is by actually doing it. So you have to spend your time building all these systems. You build a system for everything you do. Everything. And systems, all you want to think about with system is just like a checklist. So the system is basically a checklist. It's like, okay, step number one, write the ad copy for the Facebook ad. Okay. Check. Step 2, find an image for the ad copy. Check. Step number 3, go to the Facebook Business Manager page and place the ad. Check number 3. So that's all you're doing. You're check marking this stuff off. That's really all you're doing. If you're going to do it with content, you're going to say, okay, system number 1, creating the content. I'll go into Asana. I'll actually create all the ideas within Asana, like this to-do list of ideas. And then after that, I'm going to color code them based on this. And then you create this whole system with everything you do. Promotion system. You need a promotion system, hands down. This is why so many people don't make money. They have systems for everything except for the thing that makes them money, which is absolutely ridiculous. Your promotion system, it needs to be whatever generates the revenue, whether that's advertising, whether it's outreach, whatever it is that generates the revenue, it has to be a promotional, or it has to be a system. So it has to be step by step every single time. And I've showed you guys my actual pipeline for the getting gigs, but it's really simple. In terms of actually generating the revenue, the top part is literally you find the leads. After you find the leads, I send out email number 1. If they don't respond to that, I then send out the follow-up email. If they don't respond to that, I pitch them. If they don't respond to that, I pitch them again. If they don't respond to that, I repeat the cycle. It's the same thing over and over and over again until I get the sale. Every single time. You spend your time building systems in your business. That's what you have to do 24/7. And you have to understand the goal of each and every system that you're going to engage in. And so, think about like your content marketing system. You're creating content, podcasts, videos, pictures, whatever type of content you're creating. Understand that content is there to make the sale easier. It's not there to content itself doesn't generate a ton of sales. So content is just there to make the sale easier on your part because it's helping you build the brand and all that sort of stuff. But understand what the purpose of each and every system is. So your promotional system, a promotional system, it's ultimately the root of your sales, really. A prospecting system, you're going to build out a prospecting system. Once again, the purpose of that is to make money. Understand the purpose of each and every system you build out and then focus on that purpose 24/7. So if you're building out content, you say my content, the purpose, so content is actually a perfect example here. Content can be used for multiple different reasons or multiple purposes. Content can be used for SEO purposes. So let's say that's my focus. I'm going to create content based on SEO. So because that is my focus, what is that going to make me do? Well, that's going to make me do. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to go to all these keyword search places. I'm going to look up keywords that people are typing into Google. Instead of me titling this, what did I title this thing? What to spend your time or where to spend your time to build your personal brand. So if I'm going to use content for SEO, I probably won't title it where to spend your time to build your personal brand because people aren't really typing that in. Maybe I'll type in something like, I don't know, I'd have to do research, but the words personal brand would definitely be in there because people are typing that in. And then maybe daily activities, those words would be in there as well because people type that in and they're really curious. So once again, my entire strategy would change just because the focus has changed on why I'm producing content. On the other hand, let's say the purpose of me producing content is just to kind of add to the sales structure that I already have, to the sales process I already have. At that point, the content I create can be very different. It can be content that I want to create and is just very different. So you have to truly understand the purpose of your system. Like, why did you build this system out? What's going to be the focus of this system? And so once you understand that, you're good to go. Most people, they tend to build the wrong systems first. And so this is what I was talking about earlier, where speakers especially, they focus on books, or they just do the wrong thing. They're just like, let me write a book. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't write a book. And so people just do the wrong things first. Or another example with building a personal brand. People create content first. That is the wrong thing to do. You build out your sales system first. How are you going to actually generate a sale? How are you going to make money? You build that first. Then you do all the other stuff. You add stuff on top of that, the content and all that stuff on top of it after you actually have a sales process in place, a sales system in place. Otherwise, I'm telling you right now, especially if you start with content, I'm telling you what's going to happen is you're going to feel like you're running in circles, like you're just doing things, but you're not getting anywhere. So you have to build systems. Build a system that's from A to Z to generate a sale. If you can't describe from A to Z how a sale is actually generated in your business, I guarantee you're not making any money. This is how it's so easy for me to see like who's actually a BS artist and who actually knows what they're doing. All you have to do is just ask them to describe how they make money in detail. That's all you got to do. Like, how do you actually get sales? If people say, oh, referrals, that means they don't know a damn thing. That just means like, oh, I'm just throwing it up in the air, hoping somebody calls me, hoping somebody does business with me. That's what they mean when they say referrals. If, on the other hand, if they say I do referrals, but the way I get it is by doing this. First, we send out, I have a huge list of contacts that I networked with, and then we send out a mass email, blah, blah, blah. They have a whole system. We host a party, and they got a whole system for generating referrals. Now, because they can describe it, they know what they're doing. That's how you know you have a system. If you cannot describe from the very first part of nobody knows who I am, all the way to I now have money. It's probably better to do like this. Nobody knows who I am, all the way till I have money. If you can't describe everything in between, you don't know what you're doing. You build systems first, and you have to figure that out from the very get-go. And so ultimately, the way you're going to scale is once you know your system works, you just throw a gang load of money and time into it. That's all you do in order to scale. That's literally what you're going to do to hit the 7-figure mark. So it's like when I was doing prospecting, in the beginning, I was sending out the emails. I didn't know what worked, what didn't. I was just sending out emails. That's all I was doing. And eventually, when people started hiring me, I would go back into the emails and I would look at the entire conversation. And I would look to see like, what was I saying? How was I saying this thing? And I would try to dissect the whole thing and build a system around that once I knew it started working. Same thing happened with the advertising. In the beginning, I didn't spend freaking $20,000 a day on on ads. I'm sitting there like, man, I'm not even going to spend $20 a day. Let me spend maybe $5 a day and let's see where this thing goes. So that's what I did in the beginning. Maybe I spent like $10, maybe it was a little bit more, but in the beginning I spent very little in ads because I just wanted to see, does this thing work? Does my system work? And then on top of that, a lot of times, so what you need to do is you need to place, well, I guess you just need to be very, very aware of what can go wrong in your system and how to dissect it. This is why everyone keeps saying, like, look at your numbers and all that stuff, because a numbers is going to tell you how to dissect what's going wrong in your business. One of the most confusing things ever that happened to me when building the personal brand was when I started spending money on advertising. I started spending money on advertising, but for some reason it wasn't working. I'm looking at my lead magnet. I'm like, what? This is like a brilliant freaking lead magnet. Everybody wants this thing. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at the sales page. I'm looking at everything. I can't figure out, like, why is nobody buying? Like this, I would get a sale like every now, like once a week. And I'm thinking, like, why is nobody buying? This makes zero sense. I couldn't figure out what to change in the ad copy. I couldn't figure anything out. And then one day, I don't know why, I literally just went from spending like $10 a day and I just boosted it to like $100 a day. I was like, you know what? I don't even know if this is going to work. Let me just spend $100 a day. It made zero sense. I mean, I was losing money, made zero sense. But when I spent when I increased it to $100 a day, what happened is more people saw the ad. And when more people saw the ad, more people bought the product. And then overall, I just generated more revenue in the day. So if I spent $100 a day, I got back like 120 or 150 or whatever. And so I couldn't figure out what was wrong within my system because nothing was wrong with the system. The only thing that was wrong is I didn't have enough people in the system. That was the only thing that was wrong. And so you have to figure out, like, when you build your system, it won't be right in the beginning. You have to figure out what's wrong with it. I mean, if you get it right, if you just build a system to begin with and it's right in the beginning, hey, hats off to you. You're probably the only entrepreneur in the world who's ever done that. But you're going to build a system in the beginning. It won't work. You got to figure out, like, why is this thing not working? And you got to, like, really, really try to figure it out. Usually it's an invisible. It's unknown. You just can't see what's wrong with this thing because you don't have the knowledge to see what's wrong. I'm sure if I actually hired a mentor at that time, that mentor would have easily have seen, like, hey, yeah, it's all great. The opt-in, all that stuff. It's all great. The ad and all that. But you're not spending any money on ads. If you spend $10 a day, only 2 people are going to see the ad. And so that's what he would have told me. And so that's why you have to have something in place where something or someone can tell you what's wrong with what you just did, because you may be doing the right things. The whole system may be right, but you may not be doing it the right way. And so that's what you ultimately have to do. You just got to take time to improve the systems. So let's see if there was anything else I want to talk about. Nope. I guess we're good to go on that. All right. So let's see if there were any other questions. Any questions? Nope. So we are good to go with the questions. What's up with Nita from the East Coast? East Side. All right. So we are good to go for today. Let's see if there was anything there. Let's see. Kate said, where do I find that cycle? Wait, what cycle? What do you mean? Where do you find that cycle? Yeah, which cycle are you talking about? Do you mean I don't know which one you're talking about. So which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the prospecting system that I have in terms of incoming questions, quote, contract closed? What do you mean with the cycle? Yeah, and by the way, guys, it's when you ask questions, it's good to kind of maybe let me know a little bit more about the question, because there's always the delay between when I see your question versus when I'm talking. So maybe you guys ask a question about something I said 10 minutes ago and I just don't remember exactly what I just said. So, all right, let's see. Yeah. So, all right. So I can't see anything there. All right. So we are good to go for today. I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So thanks everybody for showing up, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Take care, everybody. Adios. Deuces.